What's up, Nita? How y'all doing? I came on about 2 hours ago, if maybe that, and the service was fucked up, so it was not able to really like load or anything like that. So I wanted to come on just real quick. What up, Evan? One, and express my gratitude to everyone who reached out to me that I may not have either got a chance to respond to or to speak with. Just to say gratitude for just checking on me. Gratitude, too sweet. Um, it's been difficult. It's been rough, but I've been trying to focus as much as possible, and I think I've been focusing pretty well. Um, really just trying to get my mind back right, which, sometimes you got to do that. In the midst of, I still have had sessions and readings and meetings, and I have a very important meeting coming up in the next few days, probably like Monday or Tuesday. Um, Monday most likely. This like is very important. I should say that. Um, Gratitude, Connie. I'm rejuvenated. Well, I watched a little porn today. Um, hmm, watched a little bit. I didn't want to. But what else are you gonna do in the wee hours of the rising? You know. But I mean, I did, goddess. I watched a little bit, and I was thinking, I was like, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all about the time of the horrible, bad, crooked finger. The horrible, bad, terrible, crooked finger. Oh God. So this, and then I'm gonna go back into the serious conversation of what I was really trying to do and talk about. But uh, there's a thing called the terrible, bad, crooked finger. And reason why I call it that is because you ever been engaged in something sexual that did not go in the way in which you thought it was gonna go or how you had it planned. So I had been engaged inside of, what's up, Miss Certified? I had been engaged inside of this sexual conquest with the gentleman that we had sex, a few times. Um, I told you it's barely any time that I've ever had sex more than 5 times with anybody. Um, so this is probably like the fourth or fifth time, which is probably, I believe it was the last time that we had engaged. And see, it be shit like this that happens. The reason why it be over. Let me tell you what happened. So we were working our way to the sexual conquest. And I think I've told some of this story before, but yeah. He stuck his finger in my mouth, first of all. First of all. I am so finicky about my mouth and what goes in it And I've never done sexual stuff like that where, oh, y'all fell right in my coochie. Don't do that. We just talking about sex. Y'all not getting none. Why would that fall in my coochie like that? I've never engaged inside of a sexual transaction where somebody put their fingers in my mouth. So I'm already very finicky about it. So it was, my face was like this. Because why would you ever stick your finger? Just stuck his finger in my mouth. And I was not on one of those. No, I don't. Please never do that. Never stick your fucking finger in my mouth. Now, what was so terribly wrong, bad about it? When the finger exited my lips and I looked at the finger, it was a fucked up finger. Like the nail bed and the nail was fucked up and it was like crooked, like something had happened to that finger. Why would you stick that particular fucking finger in my, I could throw up right now. Why would you stick that particular fucking finger inside of my mouth? And it has been caught in the door or something. It was like, it had like the black where it had been slammed or something. And it was like bent and fucked up. And you chose that finger to stick in my mouth? I was angry. I was really the fuck upset. We've never had a sexual encounter again after that. It was fucked up, Antoinette, and crooked. And why would he choose that fucking finger? I'm already not a finger in the mouth person. Like, not even when you're doing sexual, like, warn me. Let's talk about it. Let's come into agreement about that or something. You just stuck it in my mouth and it was the fucked up finger. That was too much for me. I never had sex with him again after that. Never. He wanted me to heal. He wanted me to bite that motherfucker off. Why would you stick that finger in my mouth? Do you know how often I think about that? The terrible, bad, awful finger. Oh my God. Oh my God. Do you know how often I think about that? I think about it so often, I be wanting to like confront him about it. Oh my God, not as worse as a fart in the face. Listen, please, we would probably fight if you fart in my face. Like, I'm probably gonna swing. No, don't. Like, at this point, if somebody's hand even come close to my face, it's probably gonna get slapped, karate chopped, like you swatting a fucking fly type shit. Anyway, that's not what I had came on here to tell y'all. But gratitude and greetings to everybody. I came on to talk about something a little bit more serious, but now that I got y'all attention with the terrible, bad, awful finger, I think about that all the time and be so upset and disgusted. I am not kidding. Anyway, so I came on here to talk about something that was on my heart because yesterday I had makeup sessions, and from when I was ill, I had to make up my sessions. And so one of my particular sessions was my last one yesterday. It was a 6 o'clock session. And as I'm doing, and I have permission to talk about this, just so you know, I'm not just on here talking about her session. This is something that I had thought to do on a walk with crime. But I did not do it because I just wasn't sure. And I'm glad I didn't, because now I can address it. She is one of the cousins, and I when I began the session, I'm like, your name sounds so familiar, but I know I haven't read for you before. She was like, girl, you didn't read for me like 4 times. What are you talking about? I'm like, really? I said, your name sounds so familiar. I know it's somebody in Texas who also has that name. He's a well-known like activist, and I think he also shares that same name. So I'm thinking that's why the name sounds familiar. She's like, no, girl, you've done my reading like several times, and we've talked on a live and everything. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. Um, oh my God, you farted in somebody's face? I have lost complete respect. Oh no, Internet. And so, anyway, as I'm doing the session is going quite well, which I'm so gratitude about to the soul and to the spirit. Like the session is going really well, and she's validating everything. And before we started, she was like, I'll let you know once the session is done what it is, who, what happened with the situation. Someone I love, a young male close to me, she said a male close to me was recently transitioned, and I'm just wanting to reach out to him and check on him. And I'm like, okay. So as I go in, I immediately hear nephew. Okay. And I asked, I hear a D name like Darren or whatever. And so she's like, it's Deshaun and someone else, another D name. And I said, is that your nephew? And she says, no, they were with my nephew upon the passing. And I said, oh, okay. I said, reason why I'm asking that is because I heard nephew first and then I heard the D name. I said, so it's your nephew that transitioned that you're wanting to check on? And she said, yes, it is. I say, okay. So she says the D name is that person, those two young males. And I said, well, where's the T name? She said, that's my nephew. It's not his legal name, but that is what we call him in the family. It starts with a T. And I say, okay. I immediately feel like my head is fucked up. It feels like something has now happened to my face. I feel like something's happened to my head in the back, like kind of on the side, So I can feel the pain. He keeps telling me that the situation is weird. He didn't do anything wrong, and that the person was toxic and kept acting weird. And I'm like, but I keep feeling like there's 5 people. And she says, absolutely, 5 people were injured. And I'm like, because I feel like he keeps acknowledging a girl. Like there was either a girl there or a girl was meeting him or something. Like he keeps talking about this girl. And so she's like, I understand. I understand what you're saying. I'm like, okay. So, he starts showing me tattoos and locks, and I'm trying to figure out if that's the person. She said, well, we know who killed him. We just wanted to know if he's okay. And so I tell her, yeah. And I say, well, I don't know why he's acknowledging the locks and the tattoos. She says he had locks and tattoos. I say, okay, understood. And so he's having a great conversation with her, and it's going very well. And he's letting them know, about his mom, and he sends love to his mom. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this today, because he wants his mom to know that he knows what she's going through, and he really feels for her, because this was so unexpected. And he wants me to send love to her and to his sister, and to his cousin and his uncle. And he wanted me to send love there. And he kept saying, like, I didn't do anything. This is not my fault. The guy was acting weird, and he's just very toxic. And we went through this whole thing, and it lasted a little over probably almost an hour, even though it was a 30-minute session. Sometimes I go over just to make sure that the soul has completed their messages. And when I was done, she was like crying. She was crying really hard. And she says, he knows you. We've talked to you together on a live. We've spoken to you before together before he was murdered. You talked to him. And I said, really? And I asked her again, I said, well, where's the L name? She said, that's his legal name. Him and his father share that name. And he even talked about his mom and his father and his siblings. And it was a great conversation with him and her. And he acknowledged his grandma, and that 3 women were like his mom, and that was the mother, the grandmother, and the aunt that I was speaking to. And so he sent so much love to the grandmother as well. And he kept talking about playing the game. And she said, yes, he played sports. And I said, oh, okay. And, he kept referencing certain things that made sense to her, but for me, I didn't understand. But it made all the world of sense to her. And so all of the pains that I was feeling in my head and in my face, she then explained once it was done. Her nephew was one of the young men that played football that was shot on the bus recently. I don't want to mispronounce his name, but I think his name is Lavelle. But he was one of the 5 people that was shot. He was actually shot in the back of his head. They were football players, and the young man just opened fire on the bus as they were trying to exit the bus. And one gentleman was shot in the face. One was shot, the girl was shot in her hip. So the girl he was referencing was the girl that was sitting with him that was shot in the hip. And I had no idea that this was these people. So all 3 had came through, all 3 of the young men, the 2 with the D names, and then her nephew who was shot. They are the football players that were killed. And he kept telling his aunt that he was driven and he had goals. And so once the session was over, she let me know what that meant. Of course, you would think, yes, he was driven and he had goals, because I didn't know still at this point who he was when I'm giving her the messages. She says after his murder, the grandmother found a tablet paper of his where he had written down all of his goals of him being driven and everything he had hoped to accomplish within the next year or 2. Those were the goals that he was speaking of. So this, she said, because she said she said he knew me. He said, I did speak with you, Miss Governess. He said, and you look beautiful. You look different in the spirit. I said, I do. He said, yeah, you look different in spirit. I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, well, he's such a sweet guy, always very complimentary to people and stuff. And so when we was done, of course, that's when she told me who he was and what had happened. And this was something that I was going to do on a walk with crime, but I chose otherwise. And so she asked me if I would come on or if they needed to book another session. And I told her that I would come on and I would speak on it, and I would speak and let his family know how much he honored them and how much he sent love to them. The J name, like Jaren or Jared, which ended up being her son, he spoke on and sent love, and or the uncle, one of the 2, and he was hoping to give love. And then besides the T that was him, I said, he's bringing up another T. Who else is a T besides him? And she says all of the children have T names. Even if they're nicknames, they all go by T names. And so it was really, really a good session. And even when you watch me do the sessions on the live, they go very quickly. So, and I kind of watch what I say, so I don't necessarily go as deep or in depth as if it's a private session that you and I are sitting down to. So we were able to talk about quite a few things, and he went in. I really could not understand because he was talking about another gun or having a gun before, or somebody who was present normally may have carried a gun had they been in a car or something, but didn't have a gun because of what they were doing or where they were. So they had no defenses. So he talked about a lot of things, and he went in depth, and he acknowledged quite a few people. I could feel the pain right now. He acknowledged quite a few people, and man, I was gonna do this on a walk with crime, but I'm glad I didn't, because when we spoke, I said the young male keeps saying that someone told him after he passed to come find me, to talk to me. And she says, I did. I told him, you know her, you've talked to her, go and find her and talk to her. We need to know that you're okay. And he did that. A lot of times the souls will come to me and find me. Again, I've had a little genome girl when I first started my walk, and openly doing readings. I had a little genome girl come find me, and she asked me to find her mom. And I've told that story before of how I had to go and find her mom. Her name was Julia. And apparently that was something that she does. She goes and finds different psychics and brings them to her mama. So this young man took what his aunt said and did that. Even when I had did the walk with crime on Treasure Hendricks, and her mom, Cynthia, reached out to me, and she told me, she says, I told Treasure, because Treasure and I used to watch you before she was murdered. This young man is probably like the fourth person that ended up losing their life, but they also were aware of me, or had spoken with me, or had watched me with their family. I feel so much like love, but it's a bittersweet. Because again, Cynthia Hendricks and Treasure Hendricks. Treasure was killed by a genome cop at his residence, and they've covered it up. But Tiffany, Tap In with Tiff and I, we both, not unknowingly, both did this on her. She did hers on her platform, and I did mine on a walk with crime. And not knowing, the mother, when Cynthia reached out to me, she said, Quatita, I told Treasure to find you. And you and Tap In with Tiff both did her, and you both said things that were never mentioned in the news. So when I do a walk with crime, a lot of times they're free. I do them all for free for a walk with crime. I never charge for them or anything like that. So you have the option of sending it, and not everyone is chosen. And they are called a walk with crime for a reason, because they're not suicides or they're not natural passing. These are murders. Or missing people that we suspect are have been killed. And so I've been noticing, of course, and I show gratitude to the soul and to the spirit, bro. I show gratitude. But the level of accuracy, and I'm always second guessing and questioning myself because of all of the rhetoric and bullshit that comes from people who I feel like, I'm not gonna lie to you, sometimes I be like, Spirit, make them need me. Because they need to understand what they're trying to hinder. They need to understand the level and the magnitude of what it is that I do. You know what I mean? I also had a reading yesterday, one of my makeups, where the young woman, I had never read for her before. She says she's a cousin. She be in a chat from time to time. Um, she says like she was like crying. Like this shit goes deep when we do them personally. She was like full of tears and she kept apologizing. I'm like, girl, you fine. She said, I've had readings before, but in this moment, I feel like this was the only reading I've ever had because none has been like this. Like, I didn't need to tell you anything for you to read me. You were able to go in and, pick up things that have been on my mind and in my heart and what I'm dealing with. And she says, I've never experienced anything like this, even though I've had other readers before. And so I told her, I said, gratitude for even saying that, because again, it's validation. So when I even spoke to someone today, one of my old person that was kind of acting like my publicist at one point, I spoke with her probably about an hour ago, and I was just asking her some questions about being able to put myself out there and do live groups, not at people's houses, but like live groups in different places, like actually getting out there, stepping out there, not in no small venue, like actually putting myself out there. And she gave me some words of wisdom and some words of encouragement, but what she reiterated again to me was this. She says, you scare people. Your level of accuracy and what you speak on, because she's in the industry, and she says it's not why she pulled back, but she's in the industry, and she says it's the level of accuracy that I come with when I do my walk with crimes and my celebrity interview readings. She says it's the things that you say that you don't know that you're saying that are extremely accurate, and that it scares the elite. So to be able to like put yourself out there, you would need big backing, and you scare the big backing. So you would have to do certain things to broaden the spectrum of your base, like not change. She said, because you're controversial, you know what I'm saying? She said, and she wasn't asking me to change or anything like that. Whoa. Oh, wait a minute. Why is it? Okay. She wasn't asking me to change or nothing like that, but she was just basically saying, like, what you come with is scary for people. And so you may have to put pieces in place on your own, because the people that could back you and could get you in some of these places are scared of you because of the accuracy of things that you say that they know you couldn't know. So it's validating, but it's also fucking unfortunate. It's unfortunate for me. So I really depend on you guys to help me, and to push me, and to refer me to people, and to up the ante of what it is that I do already. And I think sometimes that's why I get so sidetracked, because if I feel like I'm not growing, or the base of followers isn't growing, I feel like I'm not doing my job. I could come on and I can do world readings and interviews and things like that, and live readings, and it's great. But do people support? You know what I'm saying? I need to fill a venue, not a aesthetic, an actual sell tickets, people come in and fill a venue fill a venue. I want to fly out to Vegas and see about getting a residency. That's what I want to do. And that's what the conversation was about. I want to go to Vegas and see if I could get a residency. And she says that I would have to fill other venues first before I could present myself to a venue in Vegas that would give me a residency. I need that. Why do I need that? Because of the amount of people that come to me. When me and the young man's aunt was finished with our session, and she explained to me who he was, that he was one of the 5 people that was shot on the bus. She was crying very hard, like I said, and she told me, she says, don't. She said, I'm only telling this because I love you. Don't allow these people to change you. You don't know the healing and the changing of people's lives that you give. You don't know. Don't stoop to their level because they want to be a distraction. They want to stop you. And we can't have it because you're needed. We love you. We need you. We need for you to continue to heal. We need your messages. We need all of these things. And so I didn't get upset, of course, or no shit like that. I took it and I understood it and I devoured it. And I never want y'all or my friends or my Malika, because I think I upset Malika, because she called me after my rant the other day and I didn't answer. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't. And I know I hurt her feelings, and I apologized to her today. I think she may be still a little sour at me, and so I apologize for anyone that I didn't. I just needed to get my mind right, because I'm like, what am I doing this shit for? You understand what I'm saying? Like, what am I doing it for? You know, if I'm such a fucked up person, you understand me? What am I doing it for? What, you know, because I do have people tell me that I changed their life, that I healed them, I helped them. And not even just in a aesthetic, like to be able to get the closure or understanding that they needed. And true enough, some people come like, I just want to see if I'm pregnant, or I just want to know about my boyfriend. And I tell a lot of them, like, I'm much deeper than that. I am not just a love life reader. That's not really what I do. We can sit down and talk about that, but I'm much more than that. And I have to give myself that. Now, when I come on and I do the live readings and shit, like, if that's what you want to look at, absolutely. Even if you sit down with me personally, 30 minutes, we can look at that as well. But that's not my focus. My focus is, how can I help you to change your life, to have a different outcome, to present yourself differently to yourself, so you will understand what that relationship is, or what that love life is looking like. You understand me? So I feel like I'm much deeper than that. I want to pack a bag and fly the fuck out to Vegas and talk to somebody about getting a fucking residency, bro. I need that. And she says I would have to be able to fill venues first. But because of where I am, and they always trying to kill a bitch, I can't fill a venue here. Because why? They're always trying to kill a bitch here on this soil, on this ground, for some fucking reason. But I came here and brought my residence here and live here because I felt like the spirit and the deities resonate here. And so, but for me to set up a venue or do some readings here, like, I can't do that here. So I would need to go, not even just out to Vegas. I would need to go like Florida and like North Carolina, and like not for aesthetics. Like I can still do aesthetics, but people need to understand this work of the work that I started, where I came from, and why I am who I am. Even to see me in person do readings is a lot different. Why? Because you feel the energy. I know who the fuck I am. I know what I come with. I get sidetracked and distracted by people's hate. You understand what I'm saying? The hate of something that they don't understand, for one. The hate because I'm accurate and they want me to stop. Never gonna happen. And the fear that comes with me, who I am, what I bring, what I do. So it looks like I may have an event coming up in Cincinnati soon, which is going to be a group reading. But if I can't fill a small venue, I can't ever get to where I need to. I need to pack houses no matter where I go. And I'm trying to figure out how can I do that. I've gone viral twice on the same video. The first time I went viral on the dollar store video, it went up to 500,000. People were pretending that that was them. Y'all, some of y'all probably remember. A lady kept saying that was her. She was telling everybody, yes, that's me in a pink shirt. I'm like, ma'am. My sister said, ma'am, why are you claiming to be my sister? Knock it the fuck off or I knock you the fuck out. So it was like, ma'am, do you see my box booty and my fat back? Like, why are you pretending to be me, ma'am? Knock it the fuck off. That was just a little bit of what the fuck I do. You understand me? So then it went viral again after somebody shared it. I woke up and my phone was blowing up off the hook. I thought somebody was playing on my phone. I was cussing people out left and right. Like, don't be playing on my fucking phone. Because my phone was going crazy. Until my daughter called me and she said, Mom, you went viral overnight. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? She said, the dollar store video, somebody shared it. It went viral again. It went all the way up. Last time I checked, it was over 6 million. So it had 6 million views and people was calling me from everywhere. And I'm like, a lot of y'all found me from that fucking video. So I have so many things that I'm trying to do, bro. I cannot afford to get distracted. I need to be focused. I need for my income to come up. I have to correct taxes that I have not done. Like, I have so much work to do. I have to come back on here in a couple hours and do some list readings to finish those off. Just got my office set up the way I need to, but it ain't even set up the way I want it, but it's set up so where I can be active in it more. Still need to clean my altar room though, my little closet space from where I made Yehuda. There's still some things laid in there that I need to get up. Like, I have a lot of shit to do. And I wasn't going to go and see my little friend that I went and she was talking to me. She the one who put it in my spirit, like, you need to be in some of these festivals coming up, these conventions where you, as a reader, people can come sit at your table. You need to, you know, because it's getting ready to get warm and there's going to be some of those. So if you know any of those that I possibly can get into, please let me know. Send those to my email at amagicwalk@gmail, AMAJICKWALK@gmail.com. So if you know any of those that I possibly can get into, please hit me up on my email with that. And just all I can say is support as much as possible. I have classes that will be starting February 5th. And they will run all the way through March 12th. So I will have a class. They will be going up tonight on Eventbrite. They will be February 5th, February 12th, February 19th, February 26th, March 5th, and March 12th. Those are all the dates of my classes that will be up on Eventbrite. So I just ask that you support anything that I try to do to try to get myself more exposure so I can reach more people, because if I've already changed the life of 500 people, I can only imagine how many more lives I can touch and change. So that's what I came on to say. I love y'all very genuinely. I send love out to the young man's family, um, his mother, his grandmother, his siblings, and family, aunts, uncles, cousins. I send love out to you all from him. So I love you all, and I ask just for support, and I will support you as much as possible as well for your endeavors as well. Each one reach one. It's one band, one sound. One band, one sound. One band, one sound. I send love to you all. I show gratitude. Talk to you here in a couple hours. Peace.